So the economy's down, you're out of work, all your hope is lost. Mom's yelling at you to get a job, your girlfriend's threatening to leave. What do you do? Have you considered whistleblowing? No, no, don't misunderstand me. Not that kind of whistleblowing. I'm talking about the fast growth industry known as secret space program whistleblowing. It is without a doubt, in today's economic times, one of the safest, easiest, most pragmatic ways for you to build your social media empire and become the next big thing on the block. I'm going to be completely honest here. My motivations are less than pure. Building up this channel over years, back in the day, 2015, oh, those many years ago, it was easy. There were whistleblowers to beat the band. There were contactees, experiencers, what have you. They were flying off the shelves at Project Camelot and Basis Project. And what do you call it there? Basis Project, Alfred Lambermont Weber. Oh my God, Galactic Connections. There was a ton of outlets bringing forth a weekly stream of young contenders ready to be debunked and criticized by yours truly, CW Chanter. But I've fallen on tough times. I have fallen on tough times. If you look at those channels I just named, it's not a lot of new faces coming out. Seemingly everyone associated with the Basis Project has either died of a drug overdose or gone to jail. Project Camelot is just, not doing it anymore. They're hardly interviewing anybody new under the sun, you know what I mean? And Alfred Lambermont Weber. Oh, geez. What am I going to do? Well, I decided, why give up? Why give up? You got to look for an opportunity where you might be tempted to perceive crisis. Don't spend your time crying into your milk. Get out there and make a difference. As Gandhi said, be the change in the world that you want to see in yourself sometimes. Paraphrasing. So CW Chanters with that in mind, I've decided to help out the community and thereby help myself. And that's why I have incorporated and founded this day CW Chanters School for SSP Whistleblowers. Now, it's titled the School for SSP Whistleblowers, but I think you'll find, if you're a chancer and a romancer, that the advice that I give you in these next series of videos will be equally applicable to all sorts of fields. Military intelligence insider, researcher, contactee, experiencer, 22-year-old spiritual teacher and guru. There's unlimited Illuminati insider, whistleblower bloodline member. You're going to see that this information will take you as far as you want to go, as so long as where you want to go is pain and infamy on the internet. So, CW Chanter, without further ado, let's get this ship rolling. CW Chanter School for SSP Whistleblowers, Part 1. So you've decided to blow. So, one of the first crucial critical steps that you're going to need to know and understand when undertaking to build up your career as a secret space program whistleblower. And you might be saying at the outset, CW, man, I wish I could be an SSP whistleblower, but with my criminal record, I don't think I can do it. And I say to you, have no fear. You too can be a secret space program whistleblower. And then some of you might be saying, oh, CW, even the ones with the criminal record I'm jealous of because, oh man, who's going to believe I'm from any sort of military organization with my fat body, physique by Pillsbury looks, my pimply skin, and my general lack of hygiene. I say to you, hey, jump in and out of that shower and suit up and get ready for school because you too can be a secret space program whistleblower. And then there's others amongst you who might say, but CW, I'm only 19, I'm 47 years old. I'm 52. There's no way that I could be a secret space program whistleblower. Who would believe that I was associated with any of these things? And I say to you, don't worry. There is no age restriction on being a secret space program whistleblower. After all, we're going to be telling people that you spent all that time in space. And then yet more amongst you might say, CW Chanter, how the heck? Maybe next year, maybe 5 years from now, I'll qualify. But there's no way that I could be a secret space program whistleblower. Who would believe a young buck of 19 years old had any life experience to share with the world? Oh, young man, dry those eyes. Have another piece of your Halloween candy because you too can be a secret space program whistleblower. You will learn in the coming lessons about programs like 20 and Back that will solve and cure any chronological problems you may feel that you be presented with. Criminal record, it's just the deep state and the cabal trying to discredit you. Old age, lack of experience, you had screen memories that you were suffering from. It took a long time to deal with those repressed memories and get them back to the surface before you knew and understood that you, too, were a secret space program whistleblower. You will see that this opportunity is presented equally to anyone amongst us, male, female, gay, straight, old, young, physically fit, physically inactive, gamer, crocheter. No matter what your fit or fancy, no matter what your personal qualms, no matter what your fears and anxieties about life are, don't worry. You too can be a secret space program whistleblower as long as you're willing to deal with the downsides. But we'll get there. Why not start at the beginning? So you've decided to blow. Right out the gate, the first thing you're going to need to know and understand coming out as a secret space program whistleblower is some basic rules of the road. As we move forward, after you've developed your core persona, your story, your storyline, then we will get to the future. In future steps, we will visit how to make that match the contemporary timeline, how to deal with difficult questions that might be presumably hard to answer, and other things that you might encounter on your road to ruin, your road to a modicum of internet fame as a secret space program whistleblower. Caveat here. Legally and morally and ethically, I feel obligated to tell you at the outset that there are certain things that you're going to need to take into consideration before riding this roller coaster. Being a secret space program whistleblower, though it will provide endless opportunities to be interviewed by 40 to 50-year-old women and to talk to guys that never made it and anyone else you might know who has internet access and a webcam. Uh, you might reach for the stars and you might even meet the Carrie Cassidy or Jimmy Church himself. Do you have what it takes to make it all the way to Coast AM? Many will try, many will fail along the road, but maybe, just maybe, you are the next fill in the blank. Ready to take this rocket ship to all over the place. Do you like Colorado? How do you feel about Arizona? Because that is just two of the two places you will be able to get to go and speak amongst a throng of audiences that may very well number in the 20s. I mean, the future is so bright, you got to wear shades. Okay? And so here we go. Right from the beginning, let's start. So the first thing we're going to have to figure out for you is you're going to have to decide on your persona. Number one, what are you whistleblowing about? There's a couple of key things to take into consideration. Number one, Who are you? What's your backstory? What the heck are you whistleblowing on? What's the information you're trying to spread and why? And number three there, hold on, look at my notes here. This is who you are, your motivation. Oh, number three is the secret. Um, we'll get there. We'll get there. The mysteries of life. We'll figure it out as we go along. Don't worry. Figuring it out as you go along is a valuable life skill that you are definitely going to want to develop on your road to becoming the next great secret space program whistleblower. Okay. Now remember, kids, the secret space program has all sorts of implications. The aspects of the secret space program that we're going to be talking about, number one, it's got implications technological, political, and don't forget, most importantly of all, spiritual. There's going to be all sorts of weird and wacky opportunities to talk to extra dimensional life that, as we all know, have something to do with angels and ascension and God. God? Terminology. An important thing that we're going to learn, and you're going to learn at the CW Chanter School of Secret Space Program Whistleblowing, is terminology. Number one, okay? It's not God, it's source. Everything resolves to source. Everything came from source. Presumably, everything will come to go back to source. Lesson number one, CW Chanter's golden rule of Secret Space Program Whistleblower. When in doubt, source. When in doubt, source. Presented with an existential dilemma or a trauma based situation, a difficult question to contend and answer with that might have moral and ethical implications that you're not comfortable in dealing with, just back that shit into source. Just be like, well, source. And well, you know, at the end of the day, it's all a journey and we're all trying to figure it out. And source. Remember, there's two different roads to go down in the secret space program whistleblower. There's hope, ah, and then there's fear. Ah. And right out the bat, you're going to have to decide and incorporate into your persona whether or not you're coming from a position of hope. Everything's going to be all right, child. Whether it's because of humanity or because of the cosmic space brothers are going to help us figure it all out, or whether it's fear. We're trapped in some sort of existential drama, this life and death struggle, prison planets, laser guns. Oh no! You know what I mean? Nefarious actors, my labs, trauma, 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 trauma. Don't worry, we'll get there. And remember, the secret is this. Rule number two, whether you're going with hope or whether you're going with fear, the golden rule is about it's 20 out of 25, okay? So you want, you know, if you've got, you know, if you're hope, it's like what is that? What would that be as a percentage there? 35%? Hold on. Roughly 25% of the time, if you're running a fear-based program, 25% of the time it's got to be hope. So check this out. I'll give you a perfect example. Here's a little secret, a little flash tip to a future lesson. When in doubt, if you got four fingers, if you don't have four fingers, throw your thumb in the middle, or maybe take off your shoe and look at one of your toes. But here you go. You can check it out. So say you're going from the perspective of fear, right? You might say something like this. Here's the rule. You look at your fingers, you go like this. I wish I could be here to tell you that it was good news. I wish I could tell you that the Space Brothers were out to help us. But the fact of the matter, ching, that's all nefarious lie. The whole new age or wisdom teachings, please. It's the same old hopium in another new fancy bottle. It's a trick to get you to concentrate on not doing anything. You know who's behind it? I'll tell you who's behind it. this thing goes all the way to the top. And I'm not talking about the top like in Washington, D.C. or Moscow. Please. The people that are sitting there are mere puppets to the real people in control. And I'm not talking about the billionaires and the money men or the bloodlines. At the top, at the very, very top, they're interdimensional demonic entities. Yeah, we used to know them as demons. They're real. And they've got nothing but bad news for you. And the dirty little secret is not only do you have to fight them, you're going to have to fight the 99% of the human population that wants to keep you back. Doom. And you know what? I got to tell you, when I sit here and talk to you guys, I'd love to think that something new was going to happen. I'd love to tell you that there was something we could do where we had some sort of solution. But you know what? When I look around this world of people going to malls, right? You know what I mean? And going to the prom, you know what I mean? Having a good time there. You know what I mean? Getting married and having kids and a successful job and employment. I just think to myself, man, everybody's like asleep. What are we really going to do? Ask yourselves this. If you're listening to this internet based radio program or this YouTube channel, you're probably like me and you know and understand that people just ain't no good. First of all, they're all phonies and fakes, okay? Number two, they're jerks. They'll never lend you any money. And so what if you had a drug problem? And number three, I don't know what we're gonna do. But despite all that, I know and understand that these aliens are here for a reason. There's got to be some reason. The dirty little secret is when it comes right down to it, when you stand in your integrity, when you stand in your truth, when we stand tall as a beings and are ready to get up and not go down the oppressors, get rid of the 1% holding the 99% down, get rid of those Illuminati bloodlines at the top of the pyramid and go after the real bad boys in charge. There's nothing that humanity can do. They're here and they're trying to control us because they know they need to control us. And if we get together, we can do this thing. We got to get up and fight. You got to get up and fight. You might be the one that makes the difference between this galaxy and life as we know it going the way of Schitt's Creek, consumed by the AI black goo, or whether we make it. You see? There you go. For every three terrible things you say, you resolve at the end with something nice. That's if you're negative. But CW you might be saying CW. That's great for the people that decide to go with the fear-based protocol, who decide they want to go on the more nefarious ends of the YouTube bandwidth, where the competition is less thick, but there's not nearly the same amount of lucrative financial capabilities and possibilities if you go with the hope-based protocol that dovetails so nicely into the new age wonder world of SoCal, California, or the Sedona vortexes. Don't worry. The rule of three, of one out of four, the 25% solution, CW Chanter style, will work equally as well with the hope based program. Check it out. When you get past fear and anxiety and decide to let go of all that stuff, you begin a journey to the resolution of those anxieties. At first, you think you're fighting those anxieties until you realize through program of prayer and meditation that those anxieties just go away. The things I saw in the secret space program. Yeah, there were aspects of it that were a little bit bad, that were scary, that you could ask yourself questions like, why aren't we telling everybody the truth? But then you realize truth is like a flower, slowly unfolding in time, and everything comes in time. Everything comes in time at the right time. Don't get banged up about why disclosure hasn't happened yet. Just know and understand that the reason that you're thinking about disclosure right now is because disclosure is something that's real and exists. And right now, it might only exist in your mind as a conception or an idea. But if you don't go into fear about the people that are keeping it from happening, and if you don't go into anxiety about whether or not you'll see it in your lifetime, before you know it, it'll just be. Because there's fundamental rules of the universe that unfold and flow like continuous rivers of bliss out of source. So the secret space program, the military industrial complex, the black budget projects, even my own kidnapping as a My Lab abductee taken to the secret space program against my will. Eventually, over time, I realized I could get angry about it, I could get upset about it, or I could just realize how wondrous it all truly was, and how wonderful the journey of the adventure could be if I just let go. But if that's all there was, then I probably wouldn't feel the need to come out here and make these disclosures to talk to you. I would just accept the fact that it is what it is, and that life is blissful and be satisfied in what I know. But as I said, it's a program and a journey, and it's a journey that we must undertake. You must be like a warrior, because there are consequences to our choices. It is free will, but free will can take you down the path of hope, wonderment, and disclosure, or it can drag you down the opposite path of fear and anxiety and the atrophying of this military industrial complex. Right now, we're at the cusp. If humanity itself can grab a hold of this technology, if humanity itself can take back the power and access this information and accept all the implications of life on other planets and the agenda, which is no agenda other than to help us, heal us, and get us ready for the next step into the galactic cosmic school of learning that is our birthright of humans. That's one opportunity, that's one timeline that presents itself to us if we make the right decisions. And if we make the wrong decisions and refuse to take a look at what we're doing to Gaia, to sacred Mother Earth, if we refuse to look at with indifference, turning away from all the wars and disease and pestilence in the world, well, then our free will allow the demons, the so-called demons of the myth and the jinn. Many names have been applied to these things that do exist. I could tell you that they were all good and there was nothing bad out there. I accept that these bad things, these things that I might perceive as demonic or evil, exist. But they're only evil insofar as we see them. But if we choose wrong, if we choose to live in fear, to cede our power, to cede our sacred ground, then the universe source itself will answer us, and we might find ourselves, and we might find our future generations living in truly desperate situations and very, very scary times indeed. How scary? You ever hear about hell? Every school of thought, every religion that's ever existed has promised something of value and of wonderment and of beauty for those who figure it out. But for those who don't, I know that what I've seen in the Secret Space program is only 10%, if that, of all that is out there. But I've seen some scary things. So we have to get up off our knees and do what we need to do in order to make it all happen. And scene. So you see, whether or not you go down the fear route or you go down the hope route, you got to remember C.W. Chanter's golden rule, right? 3 out of 4 is your main policy and storyline, but always give them a little bit something at the end. That's going to achieve 2 goals for you, 2 very, very important goals. Number one, you always have to have a little bit of one thing and the other. If you just go pure hope, pure hope, everyone's going to look at you and go, wishy-washy, milk toast, blue light crystal magic, Saint Germain nonsense. Come on. You could have sold that stuff in 1968, but you ain't going to sell me that stuff now. Forget about you. And if you go entirely a fear-based route, there's going to be many skeptics who are going to go, really? Really? That's the cosmic plan? It's all some sort of terrible 1950s horror movie where the aliens are going to get us and there's nothing we can do. Please. Everybody knows there's things that you can do. Everybody knows that soul contracts are revocable. Everybody knows that Moldavite will keep the reptilians away. Everybody knows that the higher dimensional entities must be out there for a reason. So the secret is this: by putting a little bit of salt in your sugar or sugar in your salt, mixing a little savory with your sweet or sweet with your savory, will give you an idea, give you the ability to tap dance over any potential objection that anybody might have to your policy, your storyline, or your ideas. Just tap dance away. If someone says you're too negative, say no. At the core of my message, there is a message of hope. If everyone says you're all hopey, la di da dreamland, you could say no. Did you hear that stuff I said about interdimensional hellscapes existing for those people who won't resolve during this bardo? For those people who won't, during this epoch of grand change, accept the invitation to go into fifth, 11th, or 12th dimensional living. Those people are brought down below into that alternative timeline. Ooh, all sorts of crazy things. Reptiles chomping on your junk. Don't tell me I'm all hopium. Get out of here for that. You know what I mean? I've done my shadow work. That's the other little secret. Shadow work. When in doubt, and someone is being like acting like you are being, too negative, default to source. If anyone ever accuses you of being too willy nilly and nice and flowery and violet ray light, you just go, hey, you know what I mean? And then you throw in something there about shadow work, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Shadow work, which basically means that, the great thing about talking about shadow work is that in a way, it allow you to be a real jerk to people sometimes. You know what I mean? Everybody's got a shadow. You know what I mean? The other thing to remember, always to remember, is when in doubt, screen memories are your friends, and traumatic mind control can be a whistleblower's best buddy. Okay. Say you're out there being a secret space program whistleblower and someone points out an underlying a fundamental contradiction in your story. Not a problem. Not a problem. Why? Traumatic based mind control and screen memories. I know I said that then, and I'm saying this now, but what you need to know understand is that been doing a lot of regression therapy and shadow work. See how it works there? And because of that, I'm realizing a lot of things that I talked about and saw. When those contradictions were first brought up, I thought to myself, gee, I don't know what to believe. But then I went inside and meditated, and a voice came from source and told me, don't worry, little ray of sunshine. Everything's going to be okay. That thing that you thought you knew that you didn't know, that was just a screen memory. That was a memory that you thought you had, that you thought you had recovered, but your work wasn't quite yet done yet. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and all sorts of other, great nifty things. Oh, that's another secret tip. When in doubt, always have on your person at least 5 or 6 fortune cookies. Fortune cookies? Yeah, fortune cookies. The purpose of the fortune cookies are many. Number one, you're going to be on that stage possibly for a long, long time. Okay? People have a tendency in this community, whether we like it or not. Thank you for your donation. Hey, all right. Um, uh, People have a tendency, and this, even though we've all done our shadow work, still people have a tendency to go long, to make it all about them. We're going to get that, and that's an advanced study course, how to snark and snipe the competition. But that's not 101. That's more of an advanced teaching. So have patience, little buckaroo. We'll get there in good time. But for now, the purpose of the fortune cookies are many. Number one, people go long. So you'll have a tendency, maybe you're going to get a little peckish up there, a little hungry. Having something to snack on is always a good idea. Number two, no, no, no. Water. Have plenty of water with you. The purpose of the water is number one, it's going to keep you hydrated when you're up there sweating in the sweltering sun, because as we all know, there are many conferences that take place in all over the world, being defined as Sedona, Arizona, another desert in Arizona, sometimes a desert in Colorado, or St. Louis Obispo. You know what I mean? Whether it's Cali or Arizona or the other part of California or Arizona or that little part of Colorado that's like a desert, you're gonna want to have water with you. Also, the water is great because unlike the fortune cookie, if you go to try and chew the fortune cookie midstream when someone's caught you up in a horrendous, horrible lie, or pointed out a glaring omission or contradiction in your story that basically inadvertently contradicts fundamental laws of relative physics, or Newtonian principles of how things work. Having a little drink of water will give you that brilliant moment to pause and think to yourself, what the F? What am I going to say now? How am I going to get out of this one? Also, if you drink the water, that's also going to give your handler an opportunity to jump in on your behalf. A handler is someone who involved in the community for longer than you have, your sponsor, if you will, a person who is in some way going to vouchsafe for the validity of your story. Someone who's going to say things like, I vetted this person, or when I spoke to this person, it just made sense to me. I thought to myself at first, this is a crazy story. There's no way that it could be true. But then when I thought about all the other jerks that told me amazing stories that couldn't possibly be true, and I realized that this guy's story was just as jerky and made as little sense, I thought to myself, I knew and understood. This guy is the real deal. He's the next Preston Nichols, Benjamin Fulford, Corey Good, Randy Kramer, Andrew Bashago, Shane the fucking Ruiner, Elena, Ivanka, and Bob. He's the next Billy, the next Roy. You get the picture. You get the picture. Many have come before, many will come after you, but now it's your time to shine. You're going to be in the secret space program whistleblower. But then check this out. As I said with the fortune cookie, while you can pause while you're drinking the water and you can chew on that fortune cookie as you get peckish, the other great thing about the fortune cookie is that inside every fortune cookie is a little piece of kind of wisdom, right? And a little bit of kind of wisdom goes a long way in this industry. When in doubt, and you can't blame it on source, and shadow work has been used too many times already by you or the jerk that came before you, the jerk that's going to come after you, then you can always say something pithy. Think somewhere between, here's a great thing to do. Take a line that you might think you might see on a Hallmark greeting card, like a mother's, like not a specific holiday card like Christmas or anything particularly religious, really religious, but something just kind of vaguely spiritual. You're definitely going to want to get yourself a copy of Chicken Soup for the Soul. Get yourself a copy of Chicken Soup for the Soul. Get yourself a copy of the what was it, the Tao of Pooh, Course in Miracles, anything that sounds really nice. Be Here Now, definitely. Be Here Now has gotten many a secret space program whistleblower out of a jam. Trust me. When in doubt, Be Here Now. Source, shadow work. We got you covered. Don't worry. These words mean things, but all sorts of things to all sorts of different people. So if you just kind of toss a couple out of there, it's seasoning, and this the analogy of seasoning is a great analogy to use. You always want to pepper in a lot of different concepts all over the place. Okay, that'll give you a nice little patchwork to dance around on a variety of things. You know what I mean? And then no one can really pin you down to any one particular thing. And like I said, with screen memories, you're golden. So you take something that appears that it might appear like on a visualize a Hallmark card in your mind. Hold on, make a note here. What's my note? Hold on. I just had an idea. I gotta remember it. Hold on. Wait. This is not part of the act. Pay no attention to the man behind the screen with the pen. Thinking. I said fortune cookie, something. And there's source, take a space program, be full of hope, be full of anxiety or fear, one or the other, but three-fourths your main thing, and the other thing, and pepper it, seasons, tap dancing. It'll probably come to me in lesson number 2. I set my intent. It's going to occur to me, da, 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 da. Got the handler, blah, blah, blah. Oh, picking the handler. Gotta do that. What was the thing? It's gonna torture me. It's gonna drive me crazy. What was I saying before that? Oh, here's what you do. Visualize something that you might see on a Hallmark card and then just kind of Easternize it. Okay? Definitely just want to just kind of a nice little thing like things like this. Here's always things that are worth saying. Things like this. You could talk about start with a general concept and category of thing, like acceptance, right? Or hope, right? Or mysteries, or extraterrestrial life. Just a big concept. And then just kind of whittle it down into some sort of semi specific statement about something that you might have experienced one time or another. I'll give you an example. When I think about the extraterrestrial entities that I met when I was in the program, first, you definitely start off fearing them. But over time, you realize that there's something fundamental to life. We're all kind of the same person, kind of the same thing. We all have hopes. We all have dreams. We all have anxieties. Though we're all individuals and all very, very different, we're all kind of very similar as well, right? You just do that. And in doubt, you always go for your fortune cookie because there's going to be something there that you can use. For example, the path to hell is paved with good intentions. You might be stumped. They might be asking you, but why would they do that? 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 It's a tale as old as time. The path to hell is paved with good intentions. Ah, you see, there you go. You know what I mean? Or, it's just great. It's brilliant. Like, or patriotism. There's another good word. So, yeah, it is the military. It is the military. And you didn't vote for these guys, right? It's the military, but it's not our military. And yeah, there's some good guys in there. There's definitely some good guys and gals in there. They're doing the best they can, that do care about their brothers and sisters, that do care about getting the mission done, that are committed. But that's why I get so angry. And that's why I get so upset. Because they're taking those good guys and they're making them do bad things. Oh, here's some other terminology that you're going to want to remember: white hats and black hats. If someone says good things about you, or someone brings up the fact that you've implicated in your story that you're working under this general who told you that you were going to wipe out that colony of mantids on the dark side of the moon. But like, one of my spirit guides is actually a mantid. So I feel like you're just saying things that are like you're being very speciesist about the mantids, okay? Then what you do is you say something like this, like you talk about white hats and black hats, be like, yes, we did that, but you need to know and understand there's certain times when you're given a direct order, and if you don't do it, then they're going to kill you. And it's not just about being selfish because you realize that if they kill you, they might be killing the only people involved in the program who might actually make a difference. So sometimes you got to make a sacrifice. Oh, here's the other thing. Things about soul contracts be like, now that I know what I know about Source, I know and understand that it had to happen that way. That maybe through the laws of karma, that that colony just had to go. And there's great mysteries in life that we don't always understand, but you have to have faith that you're making the right decision. every day. Though I might have been involved in, oh, here's the other thing. You're special, but you're not special. Just like the rule of three good things and a bad thing if you're on the side of hope, or three bad things and then a good thing if you're on the side of team. We're all living in coward and fear, and the ancient archon reptilian space lord demons are gonna kill us and eat our babies. Um, Always remember this: you're special, but you're not special, right? Yes, you've had an exciting life and you've seen more things and have had more adventures than the average person, but you still put your pants on one leg at a time. That's a great phrase that you're going to want to use over and over again. You've seen crazy things, but you're still normal. You've seen amazing things, but you're still down to earth. You're special, but you're not special. Okay? That way, if anyone accuses you of being an egotist, you can always say, "Hey man, I put my pants on one leg at a time just like every other person." Okay? I've got problems just like you. At the end of the day, I'm still a person. I'm still a human being. I'm just trying to tell you what I'm telling you because I care. I care enough about humanity. Oh, here's the other great thing: deny, deny, deny any self interested motivation in being a secret space program whistleblower. Yeah, I take donations. I have to take donations. You think you could come out here and tell people that you're a secret space program whistleblower and then just go down to the Piggly Wiggly and apply for a job? Okay. They have Facebook too, you know. I'm out here trying to do a very dangerous and special mission here. I'm out here risking my life. So yeah, we ask for donations because it takes money to fuel up the U-Haul to get from Colorado to California to the other desert in Colorado to the other desert in Arizona. Okay, and it's hot out there. You got to drink a lot of water. And do you think these fortune cookies just fall off trees? Wouldn't that be great? If I had a food replicator here, I'd have fortune cookies for days. But guess what? Part of the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because they're suppressing the technology. What technology are they suppressing? All the technology that explains why I'm able to be here and talk to you about these things, yet have no proof of my story. Why, despite the fact that I'm only 19 years old, I'm telling you story after story after story that would have involved decades of training, let alone the decades it would have taken to have all these experiences crammed into me, right? As well as the fact of why I can explain that I've had these amazing adventures and been shot up 1,000 times with laser beam technology and directed energy weapon attacks to skull the brain hypnosis, and yet I'm able to still here talk to you. They're trying to suppress the technology. We've got the cure for cancer, they just won't give it to you. That's why I'm fighting. You think I got a selfish motivation? You think I enjoy being out here? Okay, talking to all these wonderful people, being treated like a rock star superhero by small coterie of people at this conference. You think that that makes it worth it? It's not. I thought it was worth it when I signed up to CW Chanter's jerk ass school for SSP whistleblowers, but now I've got regrets. But now it's too late. But wait, this is why I made that statement. Okay, every once in a while, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna screw up, though you're all supposed to be love and light. Someone's gonna see you screaming at your girlfriend, right? Or kicking your cat, right? Or despite the fact that you tell people that you spend every night of your life cowering in fear of the interdimensional archon reptilian space lords that can travel through walls, let alone your dick, right? Why they caught you down at the bar, just calmly, chowing down, the Chex Mix while ordering another beer, huh? What about that? What do you say to that? What do you say to that? This is why I got to take notes. But this is good. Oh, when you screw up, just explain that you're under a lot of stress. You're under a lot of stress. You think it's easy being a secret space program whistleblower? It is not. Just like the same thing with taking donations. Though it seems like a contradiction, people are saying, hey man, this is a pretty cushy gig. Always bring up the opposite. Remember, the yin yang symbol is a great thing to get tattooed somewhere on your body because number one, it's going to imply to people that you're spiritual. Ain't that a thing? And number two, it'll remind you when in doubt, go to the other thing. If people are saying that you screwed up by being too hopeful, bring up the fact of some negativity. If people are saying you're being too negative, always bring up some hope, right? There you go. Boom, like that. And if people accuse you of having selfish motivation, just deny it. Remember, you're doing everything for humanity. You're doing this because it's important to be done. Okay? And if they make fun of you for taking donations or whatever, just bring up that thing. And if they say to you, oh, none of this makes any sense, be like, I know it doesn't make any sense. Always concede the argument. They can't get you. Be like smoke, my friend. Don't let them nail you down. If they say it seems contradictory, just be like, well, it is contradictory. And here's the other thing. Always tell people that you're a human being, like we said before, and you're subject to making errors and mistakes. Okay, okay, okay. So maybe the Area 51 theme strip club might not have been what I told people the GoFundMe was for. But we're looking at every opportunity to spread this message of disclosure. What better way to spread disclosure than with an Area 51 theme strip club? Think about it. Disclosure. Get it? What was the name of the club? We called it Disclosures. Ah, because it works on two levels. Yeah, same. Off the dome. Hashtag disclosures. There you go. Okay, how am I doing for time? Pretty soon I'm gonna have to get out of here. But like I said, this is just part one. So you've decided to blow. You know what? I may have gone to some advanced stuff. I'm so excited about this material and bringing it out to you that I might have gotten too excited. So here we go. Let's go back to fundamentals for a second. Fundamentals, fundamentals, fundamentals. Okay. Who are you? Where were you from? And what are you doing? Number one, rule number one, don't worry about evidence. Don't worry about evidence. Not necessary. The lack of evidence is evidence that you were involved in a secret space program, Illuminati bloodline, contacting non-disclosure pact, alien abduction to a mystery school. Think about it, right? What are they going to have you do? Walking around with all this evidence? No way, man. These guys are the puppet masters. They pull the strings, okay? Like I said, criminal record, that's because they're covering it up for you. And if there's a criminal record that you can't deny, well, dude, you've been traumatized. You've been subject to all sorts of traumatic mind control, fuckery. Of course you're going to be addicted to people. Do you know what I mean? You'd get drunk at a bar too. You would get into a fist fight. Sure, pickpocket. Yeah, absolutely. I did that. Why? Man, the traumatic brain control. I had no money to eat or food. They left me on the streets, whatever. Okay. So there you go. The lack of evidence is evidence. The presence of evidence to the contrary that you've been somewhere else is totally. Oh, that's what it was. What if 20 and back doesn't solve the problem? If you might be presented with chronological circumstances or contradictions that will be impossible to cover up with the mere invocation of the concept of 20 and back. What's the concept of 20 and back? It's very simple. You go in these secret space programs when you're a little kid, right? There you go. And then they put you back in the 20 years that you're in service. There you go. You're fighting aliens for 20 years for some reason. And then they shrink you back down to where you were, and the screen memory and whatever, you know what I mean? 20 back. If that doesn't work, timelines. Timelines are your friend. In a world where there's time travel, in a world where there's going from different dimensions, there you go. Be your own walk-in. Why do I have a long, extensive criminal record for fraud? What happened was that when I was in the secret space program, working as a high-powered empath, engineer, and/or soldier, I encountered many bizarre interdimensional entities, and we got involved in many hijinks with technology that was sometimes fallible. And so, because of Project Montauk, time travel, a floof in the Tesla coil in the trip chair, and the archons, an alternative me was caused to transpose into the timeline of an alternative me in what you call this planet Earth. It's not the original planet Earth that I came from. The me that was me over here, who was exactly like me, had the same parents I did in my home. That dude died, and that's why Source put me right back in where he was, right? And that's why I'm a clone, and but not a clone, and yeah, we have the same. We're the same person, but we're not. There you go. You see, timelines. They'll get you between timelines and 20 and back, baby. They'll never hit you down to anything. And you might be saying to yourself at this point, "Are you kidding me?" Of course they're going to ask questions. Don't worry about it. All you got to worry about, another golden rule. Just worry about the true believers. If someone comes up to you with serious probing questions like, why does your story not make any logical sense? Or uh, are you really going to think that we're going to believe that a guy with an extensive criminal record for crime and fraud, who was just caught smoking crack behind the bleachers, is a secret space program military super soldier whistleblower? I don't think so. What you do is don't engage. Don't engage. There's no need to. And if anyone points out the fact that you don't answer any tough questions, just be like, blame the victim. Just be like, oh, well, I'm not going to deal with any haters, okay? And I'm not here. Some people, when in doubt, blame other people's shortcomings for the mistakes that are present in yours, okay? So if someone starts criticizing your storyline, just say to people, you know, I don't hate that person. I pity that person. I feel bad. I wish I didn't know what I know, but I know what I know. And that's why I'm here telling you what I know. And of course, there's no evidence, but that's evidence. And this person over here, I could answer his question. Sure, sure, I could. But what would happen then? He would just keep on asking questions. And you know what? Time is precious, life is precious. I saw too many of my friends die up there in that laser battle in the moon, or in the underground base, or in the spaceship, to waste my time with haters. If he is comfortable, if he won't be red pilled and wake up to the reality that might be just too hard for him to accept, then there's nothing I can do about it. You'll know and understand that that's going to work, because not only does it devalue the opinion of the other person that doesn't agree with you, it's also praising the people that are willing to blindly accept what you have to say, right? Because you're in effect telling them that they're so amazing for being able to know and trust in your story. Here's the other thing that you can learn from the end of the Book of Mormon. When in doubt, turn it back onto people for them to contemplate and ask themselves. Say to them, it's going to be your decision whether you accept what I have to say to you is true. And I'm not asking you to accept. Acknowledge the problems with your story. Be like, I know it's hard to believe. You don't think I know it's hard to believe? And I didn't want to believe it when I came to believe what I believed. But I had to. Eventually, I had to realize that that as bizarre as it sounded, as crazy as it might be, to think that my mother's an alien mantid involved in the secret space program, Illuminati bloodline, mushroom magic that brought me to the ninth dimension, that that was the only real explanation that made any sense. And maybe it's the only explanation that makes sense to you about why you're one of those people that everyone calls crazy, why you've come here to these gatherings to find the others. Maybe, just maybe, it's because you know that it's true, that as crazy as it sounds, that there's evidence that's more important than physical evidence. There's the evidence that resonates with you. Not up here. Remember, thinking is the enemy. If you see anyone coming up with any critical logical thinking, you're going to want to get ixnay on them out of your life as quickly as possible. Here's another hot tip. we're going to be looking for. I guess this will be more of an introduction, because we'll have to do things lesson by lesson, I think, to break it down more concisely. But for now, here's another thing. I keep on forgetting things. Oh, well, in the future, well, maybe at this point it makes sense to talk about things that we're going to cover in the future. Like, we'll cover such things as picking a handler. Okay, we might also do some workshopping where we actually encounter questions that you might actually get in the field and how to explain them. Give you like pragmatic, practical life lessons for how to do this. Okay, but maybe the time manual we'll do is this. What time do I have remaining? Oh, really have to wrap it up. I'll really have to wrap it up. I wish I could go longer, but I think we're going to have to make this an introduction. So in the future, what we're going to go on to is we're going to talk about starting off your story. Okay, your story is going to have to include several things that are going to be specific to you, but also general. Here's a preview. Okay, so when coming out there, you're going to have to know and realize that people are picky with their truth. You're going to want to have a storyline that achieves three basic goals. Three basic goals. Okay. Number one, what can you reaffirm and what from the past can you meld into your new story? Your new story is going to have new information. There's going to be some reason why people are going to want to listen to you. You're an alien abductee. Oh, ho hum. There are alien abductees out here to beat the band. The audience at most of these conferences and conventions you're going to want to try and make money at are all themselves, contactees and experiencers or victims of abduction. So you're going to have to think something better than that. My lab? Oh, please. Again, it's been done all before. You're gonna secret space program, solar warden, yawn. You're gonna need to have something new, but you don't want it to be too new. If you make it too new, you run the risk of contradicting people's preconceptions and presumptions about what the facts and reality about secret space programs and extraterrestrial life already are. So you're definitely going to want to know your demographic and know your scene. Rule number one, where does the journey start? The journey starts with research. But be careful out there. You don't want to do too much research in the public eye. If you do your research in the public eye, people are going to be like, I know why he talks about secret space program. He was all over that forum thread, that Facebook group, okay, that Twitter timeline where we were all talking, people were talking about that. Look at his subscriptions on his YouTube channel. Oh, here's another thing. Make your subscriptions private on YouTube. You don't want people knowing what kind of booty house music you listen to and your taste in celebrity, wackadoo soft porn. That's going to be damaging to your reputation and credo. Don't want that. And you definitely don't want people to know who you subscribe to, right? Because if they do that, they're going to be like, well, of course he knows about the reptilians. He subscribes to David Icke. Oh, man, cover your tracks. Do your research in private. Went on a forum, go under a disguise. Go under disguise and don't ruffle any feathers. Don't ruffle any feathers because someone might want to look at you and your IP addresses and figure out where you're data mining. And you're going to want to do a lot of data mining. Woe to the individual who comes out here as a secret space program whistleblower who thinks that they can cover their bases in 6 months, 7 months, or just watching, loose change, the truth about 9/11 while high. I mean, you're definitely going to want to watch Loose Change, the truth about 9/11 while high. That's, fundamental research. I mean, you have to cover your bases. But having said that, don't come out here too quick. You're definitely going to want to know what's going on. You're definitely going to want to be familiar with the terminology. Here's a great little tip. Insiders always know that only a noob calls it the secret space program. No, bro, it's SSP, honey. Okay, you're gonna have some code words. You're gonna have to have some coded language, right? And when talking about aliens that you know, give them a fancy friggin' name. It just makes sense. It'll make sense to people, and you're gonna want to know what makes sense to people. Okay, because just like the little bit of darkness in your light, or a little bit of light in your darkness, what you want to do is make sure that your story is completely compatible with all the secret space program whistleblowers who came before you. You don't want to contradict, but you just want to have a little bit of new information. Okay? Just a little bit of new information that picks it off and takes it into another dimension or another planet. Hey, A lot of people talking about Saturn and Mars. Whatever happened to Pluto? Huh? A little bit of research at the library, the One Time Life book about Neptune might tell you all you need to know about the special program on Neptune. Oh, isn't it true that there's nothing solid there? Also, remember this. Here's another great rule. If anyone ever brings up a scientific fact that contradicts what you have to say, tell them that science is lying to you. For whatever reason, people are going to be willing to believe that. When in doubt, remember that NASA stands for never anything supposed to be authentic. Pick an acronym, pick something new, pick something that someone has already said before. Do it a little bit differently. You're always going to want to be 90% what's come before and just a little bit different. You want it because you're going to be able, the audience is going to love you and they're going to eat it up because number one, you tell them that they're so smart and they're right. They're like, well, I know in my research that ABC 1, 2, 3 about the secret space program and life on other planets. So you come out and you say ABC 1, 2, 3 as well. And then they go, oh, I like this guy. No, he knows his stuff. You know what I mean? He knows A, B, and C too. And a lot of people go around talking about ABC. But the reason why he makes sense to me, the reason why I know he's true and authentic, he's also saying 1, 2, 3. Ah, right? Ah. You don't learn that by watching X Files. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, you might learn that by watching the event, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's the other thing. Everyone out here loves science fiction, so get familiar with science fiction. Cover your bases and your fundamentals. Star Trek. Oh, here's the rule. Star Trek for technology and politics, right? Star Wars for mysticism and magic. You see? A little bit of both. You want an intelligent, technological, science-based, pragmatic system to mire yourselves in because that resembles the world we talked about today. But then you want a little bit, everything happens for a reason, huh? Good and bad entities, but maybe it's just perception. Ooh. There you go. All those little Louis Biscaglia tips, all that Terrence McKenna magic stuff, all that Star Wars George Lucas shaman technology. Put it over there. You put the two together. You got yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that everybody's going to want to eat. So there you go. So we'll get into it when we go further into this topic. We'll explore further the specifics of your storyline, who you're going to be. You're going to look at the possible ramifications. You're going to want to do a little bit of future thing also. So we're going to do this. Your story is going to want to include a lot of the past, right? A lot of the past, so you prove to people that you know what you're talking about, and also simultaneously affirm that they're wonderful people because they did the right research too. You do that. Bear with me. You do that, and then you also what you call it? They do a little bit of past, a little bit of future, blah, 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 blah. Bring it to a new thing. Cover your bases. Do your research. Oh, and you're gonna want to make sure that your story evolves, an ability to evolve over time. So here's a great thing. You're gonna have to figure out a way that you're out of the program, right? While you're back here on planet Earth and not still in the stars. But there's also got to be an aspect of why you're still in the program so you can update your information over time and have new things to say day by day. You don't want to just have one story like most whistleblowers in the real world, like Edward Snowden. Something happens, he's at the NSA, and then he leaves the NSA with evidence of what happened there. And then when he moves off in his world, he can still talk in the past tense about what happened. But nowadays, we'll have to say things. Well, I'm not the NSA now. When new things come up, you don't want to find yourself in that position without evidence to keep you going. You're going to want to be able to stay in the story, in the storyline. So you always want to have contacts, resources, right? People that you can look to and say that you makes a lot of sense. Also, know when to fight them and know when to make allies. In this world of highly competitive secret space program whistleblowers, look to your left, look to your right. One of these people will not make it through graduation, and one of these people is going to be your fiercest competitor, constantly challenging you with new information and new storylines that you're going to have to figure out a way to build into your thing. So say things, and also always remember When in doubt, source. When in doubt, you're only human. Screen memories, timelines. That's a brief introduction. That's what we're going to do today. That's a little bit of an overview, an outline, if you will, about what we'll be talking about in the future there. And there you go. So there you go. Have I done it? I've done it. And I've already lied to people and told them I'm going to head home right now. So, guys, think about this. Think about the things that we've talked about today. Here's a little lesson for a homework assignment, if you will. Okay. So I've laid out some fundamentals. Review these fundamentals. Review this video. Definitely review it a couple of times. Give me the views. Give me those views. Okay. Google likes it when you see. Google likes it when you watch. Just have it play in the background. I just put it on a loop and keep it playing at night. There you go. That'll be the best thing of all. Here's your homework assignment. Okay. Now we're not all gonna hit it out of the park at this, on our first try. We're going to want to workshop it, but don't worry. Like I said, screen memories, traumatic mind control can explain why today you're telling us you're the son of the Mantids who had to fight the Venusians on Neptune, and why the next day you were actually a computer engineer who was mind wiped so you couldn't reveal the codes to the Matrix. See? Timelines and screen memories are your friends. So we're all going to go home, and your homework assignment today is you're going to think about just your basic storyline, okay? Your basic who you think you are. And when we come out and we do CW Chanter School for SSP whistleblowers, I'm going to be looking to the live chat. We're going to be the participation is key. It's going to be an actual accredited, non-accredited school. There will be graduates. People will be flunked out, okay? And we're going to be keeping score and keeping track. They're going to be homework assignments. Okay. It's going to cost you heavy money to participate in, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. And at the end, you're going to get an invisible degree made out of crystalline green Saint Germain's light. There you go. Don't give it all away, Occult Priestess. We got some TAs in the house. We've got Occult Priestess. We got Brandon Young knows this stuff. Jasmyne, of course, Shadow Zone Productions. These are if you see a blue wrench, that's one of the TAs. That's a teacher's assistant. And watch out for Cliff High, that no good bully. He's like the gooch. He's like the gooch of CW Chanter School for SSP whistleblowers. Watch out for him. Watch out for him. Okay? White balance. So racist. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just you gotta watch how you call racist, but whatever. There you go. The octopus that lives with Reamsey. Oh, forgot about you. Hold on. Watch out. Hey, he's an alien. Hold, stop moving. Stop moving, live chat. No, stop. Here you go. There you go. Thank you, Jesus. All right. The octopus that lives with Reamsey is an alien that is one of our TAs now. DJ Nimbus, Kalina and Gal. I don't remember making her a TA, but there you go. F1 for you. Watch out for him. Tell you everything you don't need to know. Oh, what's this guy? Boom. All right. Everyone and their mother is an SSP. There you go. Reamsey. You already got blue thing. There you go. Sarah the Mage, of course, of course, of course. Oh, and whatever you do, don't forget there's going to be a lot of allegations that amongst the inner circle of blue TAs, teachers' assistants at CW Chanter School for SSP whistleblowers, okay, that some of these individuals are Luciferian, mystery school, Illuminati Satanists. But there's an explanation for that. And I'll tell you tomorrow. Okay, so the homework assignment for today is I want you to take this serious. Take this serious. Participation is gonna yield positive results. Okay, whether you're watching now or you're watching at some later time, the homework assignment for today. There you go. The homework assignment today is think of a basic storyline. So you know who you are. Okay, you're gonna do three things. You're gonna do who you are. Okay, you know your background. You know what I mean. the part of the secret space program that you're from, and feel free, get crazy with it. I mean, there could be aspects of the secret space program that we don't talk about. Think outside of technology, think outside of space, from interdimensional travel, time travel. Okay, maybe you're on a medical crew, healing technologies. There you go. Illuminati bloodlines. You can get those things involved. All sorts of things that you can do. So imagine a little bit of that. And the last thing is why you're whistleblowing. Okay, why you're whistleblowing. What's your motivation for you to risk your life by coming out here and blowing these gosh darn whistles? So that concludes our lesson for today, CW Chanter School for SSP Whistleblowers, Part 1. So you've decided to blow. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. You all blow, okay? And may you continue to blow. And may by blowing, may the doors of financial success open to you. May something open to you. I don't know. Hopefully, that's something good. Okay, there you go, folks. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. It's been an absolute blast hanging out with you. Hope you enjoyed this show. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. And remember your homework assignment, because Lord knows I won't. I love you. I love you. I love you. If no one told you that they loved you today, I did. Someone just did, and it was me. Okay. I'm the principal. I'm the vice principal in charge of discipline. My absolute control of CW Chanter School for SSP whistleblowers is Toto. Okay. I will handle no back talk. And if I do something that seems like I'm jerky, just remember I'm maybe trying to teach you a lesson. Hmm? 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 There you go. Everything resolves to source. Everything resolves to love. Dirty little secret. Everything does resolve to source. Everything does resolve to love. So you can't lose. You can't lose. You can't lose. We're all going to graduate. Well, maybe will you? I don't know. Do you have what it takes? Who will be the Harry Potter? Who will be the star of their one-man show, their one-woman show, taking it all the way to the top? I don't know. Only the future knows. Only Mojo knows. Okay. Until next time, I love you. I love you. I love you. If no one told you they loved you today, I just did. Blah, 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 blah. I gotta go.